Hi, y'all. How fertilizer and soil amendments impact a survival garden. Uh, the, the past 4 years, I was trying to grow strictly organic methods, real organic. If you look at my past videos, I pulled leaves and debris out from a gully, used sand and, just rotten logs to try to grow food to simulate a forced relocation. No, no external inputs, or very, very little, mostly none. But this year, this growing season, year five, I uh, I decided I wanted to see something. I was wondering, man, what am I doing wrong? So I added bone meal and wood ash to my soils and created some soil. And I used some triple 13, not a lot, but I used some triple 13. And this is the difference in using external inputs. Let me show you. First off, I used the pinto beans for to put nitrogen in the soil. And here I have the pinto beans. They were just like that right there. And this is the deer eating all the beans, which is a good thing to know because animals are going to come to your garden. Your garden is going to attract wildlife. But so if you if you plan correctly, your your meat problem will be taken care of. You don't have to go. You don't have to go out hunting. Oh look at that! You see that guy running around in there? Uh-huh. I've got a lot of geckos running in here. I got about at least 100. But so, anyways, the deer comes over here and eats this stuff. But let me just go ahead and show you what it looks like. Um, I've got all kinds of different stuff planted in here. And I put up that fence right there when the deer came around. It literally chewed down this whole thing on that other side, just like this right here. Okay, so I've got bone meal and wood ash kind of sprinkled around in here from burning a bunch of wood. Cilantro. The deer do not like rough leaves. That's a good thing to know. Um, I got the Asian bean right here. Uh, but this right here is the Asian bean right here also. And you can see where the deer come around and they just eat everything. I'm gonna try to tuck that in there. Eventually, as this gets taller, uh, the deer are gonna be eating it. So I might have to do what I did over there. The deer were making so much noise at like 3 o'clock in the morning that it actually woke me up. But I went ahead and did some deer prevention over there. But let me just show you real quick. This is what fertilizer does. I decided to do it this year because I got tired of getting low yield. And when I built these structures right here to keep the animals out, my plants never really got big. But now look at them, they're shot through. So I've got a lot of different stuff planted in here. But 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 the point is this is and a lot of this is from seed, especially the onions in here. They're from seed. I did transplant some onions that I bought, but I got a real cool experiment here that I'm running that I wanted to show on the potatoes. I just took the potato spuds. I broke them off the potato because I'm trying to simulate, starvation mode. How to try to survive with next to nothing. Now you could get rationed a potato, and you just pull the spuds off and stick them in the pot, and look, they're growing. See how that one's starting to come out? I think this has been about like 3 weeks. Right here, this is kiwi. Here's a really nice one right here. I took the bigger spuds and they're in here. See that? And see if I can show you. You see the size of that root? I started busting a lot of these roots off, but do you really need to bury your potato deep into the ground if it's going to shoot out? That's like a 6 or 7 inch root that went down. I don't know, but my goal here is to try to have potatoes year round. And but anyways, this is what happens with a little bit of fertilizer. I don't think I put a lot in here, but man, this potato simulating, you know, to try to have food year round. And I've got some potato plants in here, and you can see where the deer have just chewed everything up in here. They didn't get to this plant. They haven't found their way in here, but if you look real close, I mean, they're keeping all this down. They can't reach in there because it's in the center. And the way I make my soil is I got mulch. I use sand. Equal parts mulch, sand, and regular soil from the ground or compost. But let me look over here. Daisy. But you can see where the deer have just eaten everything. It's really nice. See how the plants have pushed up my screen? I've got potatoes in here. The deer were just chomping this down. But some kind of food there. But oh, I planted the onions. Leftover onions, I put them in that bed right there. But you can see where I got the regular soil, and I mixed it in equal parts: soil, wood mulch, and sand, and a lemon tree. I've got to take the leaves from the lemon and boil them and see if I see how I do on that. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna get sick or not. I don't think I would get sick, but you got to figure out a way to get vitamin C. The fig tree. But the deer just came in here that one night, that last video, and they just pretty much ate everything. You can see down there where they ate it all. See that? They just chowed down on this thing. Oh man. But let me show you. Okay, over here in the wild, I got some onions. And the deer do not like this rough material. They won't touch it. And check it out, I got some kind of melon in there. I don't use any kind of pesticides to kill any bugs. But anyways, check this out. See how the deer just ate everything? If I didn't come out, they would have. If I didn't come out here, if I didn't show up when I did, they probably would have eaten the whole thing. But I got the potatoes in there, and this experiment is so important because I got 26 potato plants in here, and I want to see how they do. It's been 2 months, and look at here, really nice, whatever that is. But so that's what it looks like. That's the difference between using external, you know, box store amendments compared to just trying to grow from nothing, which is what I did for about 4 years. Very hard. My past 4 years of videos shows trying to do it organic. If you have to relocate and you have to grow organic, it's going to be extremely difficult. I didn't use any manures though. I didn't use any manures. Too many pathogens can show up from using manures in growing food. A lot of people don't cure it right. A lot of your diseases from 100 years ago in the past have come from manure. So it's a very special treatment. There's a university that has a course on composting. There's actually like a course, a certification on how to properly compost from Purdue, and it's got a free download. I ordered the manuals, the actual training manuals, and but you could get a free course somewhere from Purdue. I took that years ago. That's why I don't use manures. But this is the difference between using external soil amendments and going raw land. Everything just pops. And I used it sparingly in here. I didn't use a lot because I didn't want to ruin I didn't know what it would do to the crops. And this right here is a vine. Gotta pull them out. But yeah. Okay, that's what it looks like. Big difference growing truly 100% organic and using external inputs. And a lot of this is wood ash and bone meal. I used some wood ash from burning all the all the logs, and bone meal in here. Pretty nice. Of course, I use wood ash and bone meal because the pinto beans will put nitrogen in the soil, and that's the way it's supposed to be done. From the animals, you take the calcium from the bones, grind them up, and then use wood ash. So you have your phosphorus and potassium. Wood ash is potassium, and the bones is phosphorus, and then you use your pinto beans for nitrogen if you're ever in a survival mode. And realistically, I don't know if we're gonna have, that's something that may never happen, right? But it's a nice experiment. But I decided I wanted to have something this year, so I went ahead and used triple 13. And the idea is to harvest these potatoes and put these starters in their place. 3-month cycle. It's about a 3 or 4 month cycle for consistent. I wanted to try to have consistent year-round food production. Very hard. All right. Hope y'all got something out of the video.